Guys, welcome to the 911 Strong podcast, episode 10. Wow.
Yay.
Can't believe we're here.
It's a milestone.
Yeah, and we got a good one. Talking about friends.
What about your friends?
Exactly. Find out what we're going to talk about on this episode of the 911 Strong podcast.
Station to all units.
Prepare to copy.
You're listening to the 911 Strong podcast.
Don't act like I never told you.
With Aram and Kristen, bringing you stimulating discussion.
No, I like the sound of that.
An entertaining conversation.
And now, here's Kristen and Aram.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 911 Strong podcast. I can't believe we're already recording episode 10.
I know.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
It did fly by.
We pretty much thought we would kill each other by episode 4.
Yeah.
And we've already surpassed that.
It got to that point, yeah.
Yeah. If you missed our last episode, we had taken a little bit of a break in between our last episode and the one before that. So that would be episodes 8 and 9. And that's because we just had life happens, not because of anything, whatever the rumors are on TMZ. Kristen and Aram had a phone. Just kidding. There's no rumors on TMZ.
Yet.
Yeah. But no, it was just life happened. We talked about it in depth in episode 9. But that led us to this episode's topic, which is whether or not you can have friends that have different opposing views.
Yeah.
Yeah. And recently, Ellen DeGeneres was on the news, and so was our beloved president, George W. George W. made it back in the news. Yeah.
He did.
He was strategizing with Ellen.
Strategizing?
Strategizing. That's a George W. word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he would always mess up words like me. But yeah, they were at a Dallas football game, and the cameras happened to go into the press box where Ellen and George W. are sharing a laugh.
Yeah.
And George is this conservative, Republican, Christian guy, and Ellen is this Hollywood gay liberal, and people freaked out because they shared a laugh.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
People laughing together.
I mean, what was the big deal? I thought it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, people are just ridiculous.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, I had friends that disagreed with me, and we were just friends.
Yeah.
I mean, and arguments were healthy.
Yes.
But now it's like it's a taboo to argue with someone that has opposing views.
Yeah.
No, I mean, arguments are healthy.
Yeah. Isn't that what conversations are for?
Right. And you're supposed to, and how are you supposed to have an enlightened view if you don't understand the other side's views,
Yes.
right? So listen, have a healthy argument, a disagreement, if you will, but take the time to listen to the opposing person's views, and that'll maybe help you formulate not just your response, but maybe understand where that person's coming from.
Yeah.
So as a cop, people don't always agree with me, and as a
What?
Christian, people don't always agree with me.
What?
Yeah. Figure. And just being a married person, we don't.
As a wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, but like my wife, we're both Christian. We're both conservative. We both support cops, obviously, but we argue. So arguments happen whether or not you have similar views or opposing views. It's just human nature, and it's human nature in relationships too. But what people freaked? What do you think the whole premise was behind people freaking out? Do you think it was the news just trying to create news, or do you think people were legitimately upset that two people from opposing views could share a laugh?
I don't know. I don't trust the news media at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like they like to throw gas on any type of flame that they possibly can just to, I don't know, tear people apart. I feel like that's all the media is about right now, is just tearing this country apart. So yeah, it's just like, how can this talk show host be friends and sharing a laugh with this conservative Republican?
Yeah.
How dare she cross that line and be nice to somebody that doesn't share the same views as her? Right. Well, it might be like just a few topics they don't share views on. Like, that doesn't mean they can't be cordial and can't be friends with each other. I mean, you can laugh about something outside of politics. Sorry, that's not what life is just about. Like, get over it already.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, even when I have friends that agree with my political views, I don't want to talk about politics.
Yeah, I hate talking politics. I hate it.
So what was crazy was it forced her on her monologue on her show, one of the following shows, to defend herself.
Yes.
And that wasn't, she didn't need to defend herself, but she was like, I loved what she said. She said, I am this gay Hollywood liberal, and he's this conservative Republican, but he's my friend.
Yes.
And
I'm trying to find the quote right now, but I can't.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll paraphrase for now. But she was saying he's my friend, and we shouldn't, just because people have differing views doesn't mean we shouldn't be tolerant of each other and be friends, which I loved.
Yeah.
So I posted that clip on my 911 Strong page, and I was surprised at some of the comments. Some of the comments were, well, she should do what she says because she won't ever have Donald Trump on her show.
There's the key word, her show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she's not friends with Donald Trump.
No.
I'm not going to have someone I'm not friends with on my show.
Heck no. I wouldn't have them over for dinner. Why would I have them on my show?
And I don't care if you support what our president does or not. I know people that know the president. They'll agree with me that he's abrasive. He doesn't shy away from making those tough comments. And that type of polarizing personality is tough for some people to swallow. So he's not going to have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to be the type of person that's concerning himself with surrounding himself with a lot of friends. Which pre-show we were talking about how it applies. What does God say about it? Because we don't always know the answers, but guess what does? The Bible. So if you go to Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24, it says, "One with many friends may be harmed, but there is a friend who stays closer than a brother." And there's so many different ways you can interpret this one. One of the first things that comes to my mind is my relationship with your husband. I don't have any siblings, but Danny's the closest thing to a brother I have. And that's why we laugh together like brothers. We fight together like brothers. But the whole point of it is we keep our network tight. Yeah. Yes, we know a lot of people. We have a huge network of friends in social media because of work, because of who we grew up with. But rarely do we go on vacation with any of them, right?
Yeah.
We keep our friends really close. And, and it's not just because we think we're snobs or like, no, you can't go.
You can't go camp with us.
but we have a really unique situation where our schedules are aligned. You get along great with my wife. I get along great with your husband, and our kids get along great. Yeah, and we just happen to have the same interests. As a matter of fact, when we first met as families, we were on two separate vacations in the same spot.
Yes.
This wasn't planned.
Yeah.
We happened to see each other's posts on Facebook, and we're like, hey, let's do this hike together.
Yeah.
And that's when this whole, we call it the Jauregui family. Aram, Choe, Kristen, Jauregui, came together, and it's been years, and it's been really good. And one day I know it's going to come to an end because we're going to blame you for it. But
nice.
Just kidding.
Yeah, always blame the wife.
No, I actually joke with my wife about how I would love one of my boys to end up with one of your girls, and I joke behind. I don't ever want to put that pressure on them in front of them. Because that would make things awkward. But we talk about it a lot. Like, man,
that would be crazy. Yeah.
Going back to what Proverbs says, it's the point of that is, when you have a huge circle of friends, it can lead to greater problems, right? You never know who's actually there to be your friend or there to talk gossip behind you. But when you keep your friends intimate and close, you develop more of a family relationship than a friend a friendship. Yeah. And I've said this to you before. I consider you guys closer to me than some of my blood relatives. And I don't know if that's unique because I don't have any siblings. And you have siblings. So I don't know. What's your perspective on the whole thing?
For me, I agree. Like I have a close-knit group of friends that I know I can turn to. You guys, or I should say more like family, because that's who my friends are to me. They're my family. I love my family, but blood doesn't really make you family in my eyes. Right. It's like who's there for you when you need them, and who you can go to and trust no matter what, and who's going to be honest to you no matter what. So, and I know I can go to you guys and you'll tell me, like, you'll give me a different perspective. And I know I'm open to hearing your opinion because I know where it's coming from, your heart, and it's genuine. It's not like coming from family who just judges you without any question or anything. And, I don't like a huge group of friends. I mean, it's great. I have a huge group, I would say, of like friends, but not close to my heart friends kind of thing,
There's certain people you would tell intimate details to, and certain people that you would withhold information from because maybe you're just not that close. But you
and just experience of getting burned by telling people something's intimate and knowing it got out. It's just like, you know what? I'll just keep my group small.
That's funny you mentioned that because the very next chapter, the end of Proverbs 18 ends with that verse I just read, 24. But the beginning of chapter 19, the very next verse, says, so this is Proverbs chapter 19, verse 1. Better a poor person who lives with integrity than someone who has deceitful lips and is a fool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know some people that you can't say certain things to without it being repeated over and over again.
Right.
So I think that's why you know more about stuff that maybe more stuff about my family that I'd want other people to know about.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Bible's been very faithful to me as far as guiding my life and how I lead my family. And so far, chapter 18, verse 24 has been spot on.
Yeah.
And remember, this stuff was written thousands of years ago, before social media, before the TV show Friends, before, people were gossiping back then too.
Yeah.
Through whatever media, they were, hey, writing on tablets. Did you hear what Moses said?
The town hall meetings.
Moses is crazy. Talk to a burning bush. I'm like, oh. But gossip has been around since the beginning.
Yes.
And even those that walked as disciples of Jesus still doubted him and would still talk behind his back.
Yeah.
So I would say his disciples were a close-knit group of friends, right?
Right. Yeah.
But you choose your friends wisely, and shame on them if you have friends that choose to live their lives without integrity and choose to say bad things about you because karma.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, since we're on the subject of the Bible, one of the questions that we got from one of our followers,
Ammo and Grace.
Ammo and Grace. Ammo and Grace has been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Who are they?
She has been following us. Let me go on her thing so I can give you guys the right IG.
Yeah, since the very beginning, Ammo and Grace has been in there, and they've been one of our biggest supporters.
Yeah.
But I want our listeners to know, I want to give them credit.
She's an advocate for police wives, and obviously she is one, and she speaks out for the rest of us wives and gives us support. She actually also just started a book. It's a devotional book for police wives.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me see. She just started it. And I think you can get it through her website.
Okay. So Ammo and Grace on Instagram is there?
It's www.ammoandgrace.com.
Okay.
So you can check out her devotional there. But yeah, she just does inspirational things for police wives. She's sorry guys, I'm like stuttering. I'm a little tired today. Here I go. I was getting out of it, and now 2 episodes after our break, and I'm stuttering again.
We had a very emotional week, so.
But yeah, she also has a relationship with Christ, and she just talks about everything.
Yeah,
family.
Hence the name. I love that name, Ammo and Grace, which is just
too.
another word for God and guns, right?
Yes,
but in a more classier way.
It is very classy.
Where can they find her on Instagram?
At Ammo and Grace.
No underscore. Is
no underscore. Okay. All together. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know my wife does her devotional, and I'm going to point her towards that one because they're always looking for new devotionals. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not one of those devotional guys. I don't pretend to be either. I started devotional.
Yeah.
I go hardcore for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I just kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll pick this one up for the wife because she does it faithfully, and she's a better example than I am. But she had a good question for us. She asked us how we balance bringing church into our lives, especially when we work such hectic schedules. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that know my schedule and Kristen's schedule, we work weekends. Mm-hmm. So going to church traditionally on Sunday has been very difficult for us. And I grew up going to church on Sunday, and up until really my law enforcement career, I was going faithfully on Sundays. And I used to belong to a church that had Wednesday service. So what we're finding now, since we moved up here, there's not a lot of churches that have Wednesday service. And we've got to find creative ways to have our kids plugged in. Mm-hmm. You guys send your kids to a Christian private school, so it's like church every day. Yeah,
and they have worship again on Wednesdays also.
Right. Mm-hmm. And my kids, we plug them in by doing Awanas and VBS, which are after-school church programs. Mm-hmm. They're like, it's kind of like scouts, a biblical group of scouts. Mm-hmm. And they get to do fun things, fun activities, and the counselor, not the counselors, but the instructors for the course. Mm-hmm. They watch the kids grow up because your instructors, my kids have been doing it since they were 5 years old, and my daughter, she's kind of bummed because she can't be a part of the program anymore, but she goes back and she helps out as an assistant. But Kona, he's 11. He'll be timing out. Oh, actually, he did time out this year. So
okay.
He's kind of bummed out.
Yeah.
But, what do you do? Your kids are older than mine. What do you do when Awana's and VBS is over? What are some creative ways to keep them plugged in?
We say grace for the most part. I have to admit, we do forget sometimes when we,
It's hard,
eat
right?
our food and
Especially in a
stuff, or
public
going
place.
to bed, that kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it is uncomfortable. And other times I'm like, you know what? This is what it is. I'm going to pray and I'm not going to be sorry for it.
And some days we get really hardcore. Like, why should we care?
Yeah.
But sometimes the kids are just starving and they just dig in. It's like,
Which is, it's unfortunate, but and then there's sometimes my dad's more old school. So he'll just give us that look and be like, why are you biting into that right now?
Right, yeah.
We didn't say grace. So he's a good reminder, but we do that with the kids. He's a lot better with it because when he's out with them, they do go to church on Sundays. But I think coming from my experience, I was brought up very hardcore in the Lutheran church. And I mean, way back when, like, I had to wear a dress, I had to be dressed up to go to church and everything. And like wearing jeans and tennis shoes or flip flops was like unheard of and disrespectful and that kind of thing. So for me, when I was a teenager, I kind of started falling away from that because I think it was just shoved down my throat.
Yeah.
So my teenager does go. There are times that she's like kind of not throwing a fit, but just doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
So I don't
all of
always
us.
force her. I'll let her skate sometimes. But then they have like a youth group that's in the area that some of her friends go to. So she is excited to go to that sometimes. And she's not always consistent, but she goes. So I'm glad about that. I don't like shoving religion down their throat when they're that age, just because I don't want her to lash out kind of like I did when I was younger.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? When you're growing up going to church, you don't know any better, but then you start being conscious about it in high school because I think at high school you have options available. It's like you'd rather be doing this with your friends than going to church. And that's when you become really conscious of it. So those 4 years in high school, you're really rebelling against church.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. And then what's funny is when you go to college and you start seeing these college ministries, and you start wanting to go because now it's different than high school. You don't know anybody, and you want to find a way to get plugged into college.
Yeah.
And it's funny you're getting plugged in at college through church.
Yeah.
And then you get invited to a hipper church. I grew up Presbyterian, which is very similar to Lutherans. And, we don't have pastors in the Presbyterian church. We call them reverends.
Yeah.
They wear this banded collar. They wear robes. And so when I got invited to my first non-denominational church, where flip-flops and shorts were welcome, there was no hymnals. It was a band. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Same with me. I would go to one called Christ Church of the Valley, and I got sucked in and just loved it through youth group when I was in high school. All the kids were going, and I just absolutely loved it. My senior trip, instead of going with all the kids to down to Mexico to go party, I went on a backpacking trip for a week, and like backpacking. I'm not talking like hotel. I'm talking like backpack, sleep on a freaking sleeping bag. Hope the bears don't come and attack us trip instead. And it was nothing but devotionals throughout there. And I really enjoyed it. Like you said, the service when I would go is just, it was more like rocking out and just, I don't know, just a completely different dynamic.
I love CCV. That was our home church for a long time. We were there when Chuck Brewer was there, so probably around the same time. And I was, as a Presbyterian, you're baptized really young before you can even make a decision.
Yeah, same with Lutheran.
And so I was re-baptized again. I was part of a men's Bible study at CCV, and Dane Johnson ran the men's Bible study group. He was actually San Dimas High School's football coach, so he's this real burly, manly guy. And I felt like he was a mentor to me. And so when I decided I wanted to be baptized again, I had Dane Johnson baptize me. And then Chuck Brewer left. He ended up going to Crossroads Church, which is the church that kind of groomed him to become a senior pastor. So he felt a calling to go back there. There was a changing of the guard, so Chuck Brewer took over. And then we had this new pastor come in. He was actually a television pastor in New Zealand. He's from Georgia, Athens, Georgia, I believe. So he's got this southern voice, and he looks like the dad from Seventh Heaven, right? He's this prototypical pastor-looking guy, but his mission was to go to New Zealand because New Zealand had a high teenage suicide rate, and there was virtually no religion there in New Zealand at all. And so when he went over there, he kind of planted this Christian church mentality, and little by little he expanded and became this really popular guy.
Yeah.
They probably thought he was the guy from Seventh Heaven. And he expanded the church, and the numbers dramatically reduced, and now Christianity's grown like crazy in New Zealand. He did his job over there, so he came back to Georgia. And when our church was doing a nationwide search for a new pastor, they found Jeff Vines, and he has CCV has an amazing podcast. So that's how I listen to church on Sundays. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is my work days. When I drive into work, I catch up on church by listening to Jeff Vines. He's a teaching pastor, and he's amazing. And you know, I pick out verses and stuff like this. I have to do my research, but sometimes the verses come from listening to these podcasts, and I'm like, oh, these are something I want to listen to. And so I have my Bible here, and I also have my Bible that is a quick reference Bible I have at work. Yeah. And these days it's something you can pick up. I know a lot of people have the Bible app, and so it's not uncommon to go to church and see people flipping through their phones. Yeah. Which was a no back.
Well, there wasn't any phones when I first started going to church.
You know, when phones became a new thing, they were a distraction. But thank goodness for the Bible app. It's there.
Yeah, I get daily verses sent to me also. Right. And, one of the podcasts I listen to is called The Porch, and that has different pastors and different messages on there. So that's kind of cool too that I listen to.
It is cool because sometimes, no offense to Jeff Vines, not that he's listening, he's too busy pastoring and stuff, but no offense to anybody that goes to CCV, but it's nice to get a change of pace, right? Yeah. Listening to different pastors. One of my favorite episodes was actually a CCV episode. They had a guest pastor from somewhere in Africa. I want to say it was Nigeria or Uganda. But he came before, and I was actually present the first time he came, and he said, you know, I love America. This is great. And so the second time I wasn't going at church, but I listened to the podcast. Yeah. He was amazing. He said, you know, after my first visit, I went back and I told all the people that you guys have running water, not only on your property, but inside your house in multiple rooms. Yeah. And they have outhouses and stuff there. Yeah. And they have to pump their water. Yeah. And he says, not only do you guys have houses for your people, you have houses for your cars. Yeah. And it really put things into perspective. He was referring to garages, you know, Parker garages. Yeah. And
we're so spoiled here and we don't realize it.
Right. And so a lot of the things we complain about and say, you know, say things are inconvenient, we have no idea. I mean, that's just our conveniences are an everyday way of life for people outside of America. Yeah. But man, I love how the Bible brings all those perspectives together from around the world. So plugging in through that's another good way. It's through podcasts to plug in through church. A lot of pastors have side podcasts where they actually discuss and they do Bible studies instead of sermons or messages. But you know, the whole point of this isn't how much you know or how much religion you have or how many times you've gone to church. It's bottom line, salvation is through your relationship with God. Yeah. Right? Yeah. The Bible doesn't say
it's not a competition with anyone else.
And you know, unlike other beliefs who believe that it's through your works that you get to heaven, it's not. Yeah. Obviously, faith without works is empty, but it starts with faith, and it starts with the relationship with God. And once they have the relationship grounded, guess what? Everything else falls into place. Yeah. And I think for those that are concerned, you know, entering in this career, whether or not not going to church is going to be an issue, I can tell you with 100% certainty because of the trajectory of my life. Going to church is a great place to get fed, and if you can do it, great. Yeah. But if you find out yourself in a position like I've been in the last few years where I haven't been able to go, that faith really keeps you in line, and everything else will fall right into place.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree more.
Yeah.
Yep. So, he knows the plan.
Only on the 911 Strong podcast will we be able to talk about Ellen DeGeneres and church.
Right? Now we mixed a whole new aspect into it.
Yeah. I hope Ellen listens to this podcast. I'd love to have her on this. My kids loved her in Finding Dory. And
she's hilarious. Yeah. Just because you agree or don't agree with whatever her viewpoints or way of living is, it doesn't make her a bad person. You can still like different things. You can still appreciate what she does, you know?
You're exactly right. And I think and it's sad that today people have this belief that you can't be friends with people that you don't agree with. Yeah. You know, I'm not shy about what I believe in. You know, I'll talk about abortion and pro-choice and pro-life, and I have people that have opposing views as me, but they're my friends at the end of the day. I'm still going to welcome them, and I think as Christians, we really struggle with being that example. The best thing we can do is to be a good example, is
Right.
to love other people, even if they have opposing views.
Yeah.
I'm not homosexual, but that doesn't mean
Right.
I can't have friends that are homosexual.
Right. And God didn't turn those people away when
No.
they came to him.
Right. He was having dinners with prostitutes and
Yes,
thieves.
yes.
And when he got crucified, it was amongst criminals.
Yes.
And he took all those people, criminals or not, who believed in him, right on the spot.
Yeah.
He said, I profess my faith to you. And guess what? They're all in heaven.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a different discussion for a different day about salvation. But at the end of the day, while we have our time here on earth, I think we can be good stewards of God by being good examples.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean having to know this book inside and out, because I don't. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, I people tell me all the time, I just did this Bible study program where I read the entire Bible in a year. I've never done that.
I haven't either.
Yeah. If you start at Genesis, it's kind of like, right? But, you know, it's
Right?
halfway through. Once
Yeah.
you get through the names, once you get to the names and get to the New Testament, it's like, oh, okay, that's when it kind of picks
Yeah.
up. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I largely shy away from the Old Testament, but I love the New Testament stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing that something that was written thousands of years ago and had testimony from people from different
It's
parts
still
of the world.
so relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
Can still be applied to today. I think we really dove deep into that one. Bottom line, you know, it's not about the works. It's about religion. Obviously, works without faith is empty. It's about your relationship with God. And choose your friends wisely, but doesn't mean you have to be selective because based on different beliefs.
Yeah. You just know what conversations to have or not to have, or if you can have those conversations with them.
So I hope, Ammo and Grace, if you listened, we did your question some justice. I think we dove pretty deep into that one.
Yeah. So, and because we did take her comment or question, we're going to send her some free gear in the mail.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you guys want us to talk about something specific, then let
It's
us
not
know.
free.
It's not free.
It still costs something. Somebody. So if you'd like, but
technically speaking, yes.
yeah, it does. But
No cost to her.
yeah, no cost to her. But a lot of that we don't mind the cost behind it because it comes from
No.
support from our
Yeah.
listeners.
Yes.
So if you'd like to support us, please do so. We don't ask for money. We just ask for your support by way of reviews and
Mm-hmm.
subscriptions. So for those of you that already have subscribed and liked and left us reviews, your job now is to tell your friends to do the same thing. Share our podcast with them. It's real easy. Like on Apple, all they have to do is click the little link thing and share their link with friends and say, hey, you have to listen to this one. And I hope people share this particular episode. I think this one is worth sharing, especially.
I think so.
Yeah, because we have a lot of people that go through what we go through. I mean, I'm sure when we're talking about our friends and gossiping and stuff, you immediately thought of a friend or someone that you know of in your life. And so, you know, this might be something that might break
Hint.
the yeah.
You
here,
can
listen
tag
to this.
them, but they don't need to know the reason why you tag them.
Well, they will now if they listen to the whole
So,
episode.
Yeah.
But hey, we're leaving for camp here tomorrow.
Well, it'll have already been passed since when we dropped this one, I
but
think.
as of now for
But yes,
recording,
we are.
and,
We're going to
You know what's great camp food
s'mores?
besides s'mores?
I can only think about
Talking
s'mores.
about the meaty, savory stuff.
Steaks? Carne asada?
Our sponsor, Rugged Meats.
Meat.
Yeah, Rugged
Yes,
Meats.
meat sticks.
Well, because we're going to go on some hikes and
We
we're
are.
going to take our Jeeps and go on
Go
some Jeep
off-roading,
expeditions.
yeah.
And obviously, cooking a filet mignon on a Jeep is very difficult.
It is.
But Rugged Meats
True story.
is the same meat.
That is going to be in the backpack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So people have asked me what my favorite Rugged Meats flavor is.
Yes.
And I used to say without fail it was sriracha. But have you tried the barbecue yet?
No, I know you brought that up.
Oh my
I
gosh.
will be trying that this
Yeah,
weekend.
barbecue is if not my new favorite, it's a close second to
Yeah.
sriracha. But
The pineapple pork is pretty
Oh,
good
yeah.
too.
So
if you want like a salty sweet, that one's good.
yeah, the sausages are good too. They even have one that's called Sunrise, and that tastes. It's got the fennel like a breakfast sausage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's really good too. So if you have your time of day that you have your meat sticks,
Yeah.
maybe have the summer Sunrise in the morning. But anyways, they can get Rugged Meats. Our listeners can get Rugged Meats to themselves, so they don't have to drool while they listen to us talk. They can actually enjoy them by
Eat
going.
one while you listen.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I should eat one while we record.
Yeah, I know.
Rugged
Yeah.
Meats. But if you'd like your very own Rugged Meats, please visit our sponsor at ruggedmeats.com. It would mean a lot to them. And you can use our code 911strong. It not only gives you a discount, but it lets them know that our ads are actually effective. And your support by supporting them supports us because they are sponsoring us.
Yeah.
And this stuff isn't cheap. It takes time and money for recording equipment and getting our podcast actually to
Out there.
be put on your Apple iTunes or your Google or your Spotify. It takes a little bit of time and money. So ruggedmeats.com, you can save using code 91strong. Mm-hmm. And that brings our episode to a close.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we had a really good discussion. I enjoyed these discussions with you because I sometimes hearing it from your perspective as opposed to the people in my house, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people tune in.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
yeah.
So let's see. I also want to do a shameless plug. So we're about at 900 followers.
Oh, we're out of time, guys. So you're going to listen next time for... No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Don't you guys love him?
They do.
We're going to have a chat once this is over. No, I'm just kidding.
Go ahead.
But so we're almost at 900 followers on our Instagram, which is pretty amazing considering we haven't been too active on there. But we would like to do another giveaway, and I just want to make sure that we include everyone this time. So this time we're going to do it on social media.
Yeah.
So definitely follow along on the _91 podcast, or sorry, the _91 strong undercast
_ podcast undercast.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness. Anyhow, you guys understand.
The _911 strong _podcast. You don't want to know how I know that's because it says so right here.
That's true.
The 911.
Yeah, it's all over this room. Anyhow, and follow along, and I'll put all of the ways you guys can participate.
Yeah, you're going to do a post that shows the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the key thing is it only applies if we hit 1,000.
Oh, he's going to throw that little twist in there, guys. So
it's not that hard. We only need about 100 more followers.
That's not hard at all.
So if they enter this contest, we're probably going to have to put a thing in there where they have to share with their friends, tag their friends.
Yes, tag their friends, share it maybe on their story for an extra entry. Maybe also leave a review as an extra entry, that kind of thing.
And we're going to do some cool things in this giveaway. So on our last giveaway, we gave away a couple books, and we did a mug and a T-shirt and some stickers and stuff.
Yeah.
This time, you don't know about this, but I got some really cool things from the people at Shield Box.
Ooh.
And I think I'm going to include some items from the Shield Box.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
So you stay tuned to figure out what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any other things I can interrupt you with?
I'm turning old this week.
Oh.
Yeah. Sad
I
day.
said happy birthday to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I texted you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I remember that.
So how does it feel to get into your 50s? Everybody knows she's older than I am, or at least looks older than I am.
Respect your elders then, Aram.
No, but yeah.
Actually, I'm not. Aram's the old one here.
I am. I'm the only one in our group of friends that is in our 40s.
Yeah.
But
Getting there, but not there yet.
You've got a few years before you hit your 30s. We joked in our group text that you turned 29.
Yes. Yeah. Forever in my 20s.
A very public happy
Thank you.
birthday to my co-host.
So please leave us a review if you want to say happy birthday to me. That would be
that'd
awesome.
be a great way to say happy birthday.
Yeah.
And we'll do something special on social media if you guys are following along.
Hopefully it's kind.
Oh, it'll be kind. Well, thank you guys again for joining us on this week's episode of the 91 Strong Podcast. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. We know that you have your choice to listen at your home, in your office, and on the road to anyone. And it just means a whole lot to us that you guys are listening in here. So thank you. Share us with your friends. Leave us a review and subscribe. That really helps us tremendously. And with that said, we're done.
Yay. Have a good one, guys.
See you
Thank you
later.
so much.
You know, I've been ending our episodes with saying we need a catchphrase.
Yeah, we
But
kind
we
of do.
really do need a catchphrase.
Yeah, we do. Badly.
See ya.
Bye.
You've been listening to the 911 Strong Podcast with Aram and Kristen. You can subscribe to the 911 Strong Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and many other fine podcast platforms. You can also see the in-studio recording on YouTube. Just search 911 Strong. We value your opinion. Please leave us a review, and we would really appreciate a 5-star rating. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to tell your friends about us.